Hello everyone, and welcome back once again to my channel here. I realized last week I should have uploaded my review. I haven't done my review yet on the Netflix On Fire on the Western Front. I'll do that as well today. But my review here for you guys today is my latest review on Black Panther Wakanda Forever, which I got to see last night. I'm here to give you my opinion on the movie. This is the 30th MCU movie. Holy shit. That's insane. This is the 30th. They made 30 of these movies. It might be the most expansive movie franchise of all time. Probably the most successful in many other ways. But I'm here to give you my review on this movie. And of course, this movie weighs heavily within the heart of carrying the legacy and the cherished memory of Chadwick Boseman, which we unfortunately lost back in 2020, and how it reflects within the story of how Wakanda is now much more expansive and open, being its gates more open, being a little bit more careful and cunning, and using vibranium for other countries to help, truthfully to help. But of course, with an underwater civilization within the Mesopotamian area, led by the headstrong and tenacious, and led by the headstrong and dangerous Namor. Essentially, they're going to butt heads, and while trying not to let any of this get into the surface of any part of the world, i.e. within America, and how they'll deal with that. And this movie had a really, really difficult task on the shoulders to do. Because, number one, I love the Black Panther. I love the first movie. It's one of my top favorite MCU movies. It has so much to say within its craft and detail and the storytelling, and so much is told from a black man's point of view, from the black culture's perspective, and how they put women on this pedestal, and the culture and the depth and the beauty and so much of that movie beholds. And it's almost like in the shadow, and not having Chadwick Boseman in this movie is going to be very, very difficult. And in my opinion, this movie passes by with flying colors, quite literally, because this movie is gorgeous. Though it doesn't look as exquisite as the first movie, but there's certain things that this movie does better. Well, there's certain things, I would say for me, the one thing this movie does better than the first, even though in the end, as much as I do openly love this movie, and I think it's a really great end to Phase 4, even though I think Ant-Man Quantumania should be the end. But, it's hard to do it, because again, the first Black Panther is so damn good, but what this movie does so damn well is understanding the turmoil within, understanding tones of loss and grieving, and how everyone takes that into their own personal way, and how they deal with it, and how they grieve, and what you do with that. It's like, do you find comfort with the loss, or is it harder for certain people to overcome it because of their own personal scars, or down to the beliefs, especially with the the mother's character. She's like a lot more of a spiritualist in that way. Is like, I believe he's in the next world waiting for us, where Shuri's like kind of almost like not really in that angle. She's like, no. She's like, no, we're trying to cope without him, and I'm trying to do that. I'm trying not to do this because my voice will decrease. But what the movie does so well is that it understands the sense of coping and grieving and loss. And it does it with such a sharp understanding of character and writing and depth. And the depth of writing and the depth of work within the characters that works so damn well, especially for Shuri and her mom and the people around her, and how they're all dealing with the loss of T'Challa, and how Namor's character is dealing with the loss of understanding of what's at risk for his culture, and how he lost his mom within a very within a very strong flashback, and of course how they deal with the loss of Chadwick Boseman and how they write him out of the story is very well told. It's a little safe, admittedly, at first, but it makes sense. So it's not like they can't. So it's not really like they're pissing anyone off within the way they're doing that. It's more of, let's run him out of the story while honoring his legacy and his character and while trying to bring justice for that. And it works very, very well within the sense of maturity and skill that the writing really has for this movie. And I think along the emotional support moments, the action scenes, the visual effects, so much of it visually and aesthetically and tonally work wonders for this film. And I think it did such a magnificent and emotional and mature and skillful way of understanding that. What's on the line? What's on for risk? What happens when a country is so vulnerably open to the world within being so technologically advanced and rich and powerful within their own right, and everyone else out in the first world is saying, well, they are a first world country, but America and other countries are like, what are you doing about these other things that open up your borders did? And they're like, well, sorry for damn us, we're bloody grieving. What do you expect? It's like when you're trying to present a front, when underneath you really want to scream because you're really, really grieving for the ones that you lost. And for me personally, I found this movie to be very cathartic and hard because it's like looking upon your past self and saying, what are you going to do? What the hell are you going to do when you lose ones you love? And there's a moment when Namor says to Shuri, now you have time to grieve for your family. I'll give you 1 week and then we meet. And I love that because it shows his tenacity, his spirit of how he confronts it, but he also keeps it respectful of saying, I'm giving you some time to grieve of what happened here. Without going too much in the depth of what happened, but so much of it pays into how they cope. And this movie isn't just about the sense of loss or death, it's about how do you grow from that? How do you personally, critically take that? Like, as a great quote from Mike Tyson, everyone has a game plan until you get punched in the mouth. And when life punches you in the mouth, the inner animal comes out of you and it wants to just, well, as Namor says to Shuri at one point, you want to see the world burn? I'm gonna do it as well. Well, enjoy me or not. And it does it in such a graceful and mature way where it really understood the emotional input and heart of it. And I found it so damn moving and stuffed, and it was very good for the way it handled that. And on how Namor's more pragmatic approach, but Shuri's more intelligent approach, with Okoye and Lupita Nyong'o's character, and how she was written away from the story in that way, and how it deals within the area within Mesopotamia is all very well done. I wish some characters were given a little bit more screen time, especially with Lupita Nyong'o, because whenever she's on screen, I'm just like, she's such a fucking beauty that I wish she had a little more screen time, but everyone in this movie got a great moment to shine. Do I have certain problems with the movie? Yes. I do think, okay, here's the thing. Namor's background is very, very good. I thought it was really strong. I do think it was a little exposition heavy at times, but I'm just like, for me, tell it a little bit less with the dialogue and give it a little bit more, like, so much more could have been said. So much more could have been said by literally saying less. And I get it, he's telling her the story, but a lot of it came off a bit more of an exposition rather than a flowing story. Not to mention, there's definitely some CGI fights that are definitely just come across a lot less sincere. I wouldn't say sincere, but a lot of the visual effects heavy action set scenes that do kind of stand out, though they are handled a lot more gracefully than the first, which I loved the first, but the visual effects and the action in this movie, especially by the end, were not all that good. And I can say that as a big fan of this movie, it has its own problems. The visual effects and actions in this movie is not too strong. Not to mention, virtually, as much as I love Martin Freeman, and I do, everything with him felt a lot more matter of fact rather than a heartfelt story than everything else. It's like whenever we went to his story, the movie just felt like it was just dragged, and it just felt a lot less compelling. But not to mention, I would say the character of Ironheart I thought was handled very well, and I'm interested in her story, though I'm not 100% in. I feel a lot less optimistic about the future of the MCU now, but because Phase 4, including for me and a lot of us, has been incredibly inconsistent. On one hand, we'll get, the third Spider-Man movie, No Way Home or Shang-Chi. But on the other hand, we'll get a She-Hulk or Doctor Strange 2, which I'm sorry to my friends, I'm not going to be a fan of that movie. But Black Panther I thought was a very, but for me overall, Black Panther Wakanda Forever I thought was a very smart, emotionally compelling, and rich and enriching. And there's so many, holy hell, the way they showed Namor's performance. I loved how vicious he was. Although I wish his character had a little bit more spite and more fierceness in him, rather than him being more stoic. I bought why he was so stoic, but I wish he had a little bit more bite to him. The Tenrock Hurta who played him is superb, and the way they showed his culture, and oh my good lord, everything with that was just spectacular. I thought it was so beautiful and so well done. So for me, overall, I thought his culture, his aspects, and everything of that was just like the best of the best. Is this movie as good as the first one? In my opinion, no, but it's damn near close. I don't know where this would. Oh fuck. I don't know where this movie would rank among my top tier MCU favorite movies, but overall, I thought Black Panther: Wakanda Forever was a very honorable, loving, but respectful and intelligent sequel for an MC movie. A big thumbs up for me. I give it an 8.4 out of 10. I do have a lot of criticisms. I do have various points, but the strengths overwhelm the negative for me. And even with that, or everything with Martin Freeman in the movie, I thought was like he was not in the movie as much as compared to everything else. So yeah, that's that. That's my rating and review of everyone. I really hope you enjoy it. Till then, thank you very much for watching, and cheers. Wakanda forever.